Hey there, I'm Chaz, welcoming you back to another episode in the Dice Tower's continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2018. And this time, I am joined by John and Kaz from AEG. You have a few games that you're going to show me, but we're going to start with this neato card-based looking game right here called Space Base.
Yep, so Space Base is a engine-building card dice game.
Okay.
Plays super fast, and I was thinking the best way to show it would actually be you and I just start a game and play like 5 turns, and I'll explain it as we go.
I would love to get away with playing a game for the video, so yeah.
So we're each Commodores in charge of our own space base, and we're going to be trying to get better ships and deploy our existing ships. So you'll be first. The first thing you do is you roll your dice. All right, I'm going to roll them right here so the camera can see better. All right, so you roll. Wow, you rolled an 11. Boom. Okay. So you get to choose if you want to take the 5 and the 6 individually, or if you want to take them as the sum. So you could get your 6 and your 5, which would give you 2 money.
Okay.
Or you could take just your 11, which would give you 1 income.
Okay, whatever's in the blue area?
Correct.
All right.
So you can pick whichever one you want. Just go ahead, pick one. They're both good choices.
Okay, I'm going to take this one because it'll give me more cards.
Great. So those stay.
Okay.
Those actually stay. Okay. So what happens is you slide your money out. This is your money counter. So now you have 4 money.
Because of the 2 coins there.
Yep. Okay. You started with 2, you got 4. And then you can buy something. So the cost of all the new cards is in the top right. Unfortunately for you, they're all upside down. And they're tiered, so cheap and not powerful, up to expensive and powerful, right?
And is that the 1, 2, and 3 decks right here? Okay,
so you could buy, with 4, you could buy anything from the level 1 stack.
Okay. Oh, I like this guy here. And
perfect. So you would buy that. You would spend all of your money. You always spend everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then that card says in this spot, I don't know if we can see that.
It's like a little 11.
It says 11. So that's going to replace your current 11 card.
Oh, interesting.
So this replaces that card. The card that was there, now this ship now becomes deployed. Okay. So it actually flips upside down and tucks under your board.
In that same slot?
In the same slot. Okay. Now, you rolled a 5 and a 6. I'm the inactive player, but I still get to do stuff on your turn. Okay. So I can use your 5 and 6 individually also. I could either use the 5 and the 6 or the 11. Ooh. But what I get on other players' rolls is only the things above my board, the deployed ships. Okay. So I want to take the 5 and the 6 because currently the 11 gives me nothing, but the 5 and 6 gives me $1. Right? And then it'd be my turn. So we'd refill. Okay. I would roll. I get a 2 and a 6. So I could either get the 1 victory point from my 6 and end at 1 money, or just 3 money from the 8. Okay. Right? So in this case, I'm gonna take the 1 money and the victory point. And now I have 4 money, so I will buy this one. This will go in my 3 slot, replacing this. It gives me a new effect that I'm gonna get whenever you roll a 3. Nice. Right? And my turn's done.
All right. So the rewards here are going to get bigger and better.
So you start the game, so you always get stuff on your own rolls. You're guaranteed to get something on your own roll. Nice. And you have a very simple choice every time you roll of what you're going to get, right? So in this case, you have a no-brainer decision. It's either 2 money or 3 money, right? But as you build the effects, you're going to have, do I want the big effect, or you might put really powerful effects in the less likely to be rolled zones, or you can put weaker effects here, but you get them all the time because you can take individuals. Right? Okay. And then as the game progresses, every time you buy something, you're ideally upgrading one of your current effects, but not always. But you're always adding a new effect that you get on other players' rolls. So it ultimately, as the game builds, what you build up here becomes your strategy, right?
Okay, and so then, not so much the ships down here. It's, correct. Can you have more than 1 deployed ship per slot?
Yeah, so they stack. So if you bought another 1, this would now stack, right? Okay. And you'll get other things other than just money, right? So as you go up the tiers, so some of the things you can get. So for example, this is a 12-slot card, so it's very rare to get, but it's a level 1, so it's not that expensive. This would go in your 12 spot on your board if you bought it, right? Like so. And you'll note that it has this arrow on it. So that means is when you roll your 12, you're going to get the 3 victory points listed on the card, plus whatever your 11 slot gives you.
Oh, because it's pointing at that slot.
That's right.
Easy enough.
And if you deploy it, right, it has an arrow now up here. So now you get 1 point when anybody else rolls a 12, plus the 5 for the 12, plus whatever your 11 is. So you're trying to create these synergies. So you might get you might have a turn where you have a ton of money and you buy some really powerful effect. And then your next few turns where you have less money is about getting effects that make it likely you'll get that powerful one.
I have a question. What if, say, the 4 had been here, and I had another thing with another red arrow in this slot?
They chain.
Oh, sweet.
Now, they don't. Some people always ask, do they bounce back and forth? Like if I had an arrow here that point it back, they don't infinitely bounce. You can only use each effect once. So then there's some effects that allow you to swap entire zones. So like this one, this requires charges.
Okay.
So if this goes in my 1 slot, right, like so, you would tuck that under. When you roll this, you take a charge cube and place it on it. Right now, we're in a 2-player game, so we also need this zone, which just has a little icon to mark that. When you get all 3 charges in here from rolling 3 1s, you can cash in the charges to do the effect. The effect is you swap everything in your 6 slot with everything in your 7 slot.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound amazing here, right? But remember, 7s can only be rolled with 2 dice. 6s can be hit with 2 dice or individual dice. So a 6 is more than 3 times more likely than a 7, right? Or approximately 3 times as likely as a 7. So you put a bunch of really good things, but the 7 cards are going to be more powerful than 6s.
Yes, you're moving your bigger rewards to your more frequent slot.
So some of these will flip like your 12 and your 1, right? So
wow.
So you load up your 12 with really powerful stuff, and then you work on something like this, and then you pop it, right?
So there's some planning that you can put into this.
Yep. And then the game is ultimately a race. So we're trying to get to 40 points first.
Okay.
And it's one of those games where you play the first 2/3 of the game and you're at like 4 points, right? And then when you get your engine to pop, it's like boom, 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 right?
Nice. So how many players does it go up to?
This goes 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
And it plays really well at all player counts. And the dynamic changes. So in a 5-player game, stuff up top really matters, right? Because you got 4 rolls on other players' turns. Where in a 2-player game, you're thinking a little bit more about what's on your board and how you can make that work the most.
So you'll take a little bit of a different approach at the different player counts, but still scales. I like too that with this row on top, even with 5 players going around the table, you're still engaged every single turn.
Every turn, you're paying attention to what happens. There's exciting moments that happen on everybody's turn where you're like, yes, there's the 5 money I need, right?
That is really nice. Yep. All right, so as you're racing through space to your base, how long does that usually take?
So it varies slightly by player length, but even a 5-player game is usually an hour or a little under, maybe a little over.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And a 2-player game is half hour.
So it keeps that brisk pace.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, okay. Well, now I got to have it. So what's the kind of timeline for its release?
This should be mid-April.
Perfect.
Coming out soon.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And what's the MSRP that we can expect?
It's going to be $39.99, I believe.
Excellent. Yep. Cool. All right. So that is Space Base, which is a really awesome engine building game. I'm going to kind of suddenly move this out of the way.
Let's sweep it up.
What have we here?
Yes. So this is for your diehard Mystic Vale fans. So AEG did the big geeky box for Smash Up. This is the equivalent for Mystic Vale. The idea here is, 1, it can hold everything Mystic Vale, base game, all expansions, future expansions.
Excellent.
But it also comes with a number of content additions, including a new mode of play, which is my favorite part about this.
Do tell.
Yeah. So I actually had designed this piece of the puzzle before with an idea of it being in the base game, but we decided to keep it for this one. And what this adds is actually 2 additional players. So you get 2 new decks, and they're the same, right? But the immediate concern is, Mystic Vale 6-player, isn't that a lot of downtime, right? So what it adds is, and I don't have all the stuff to show it, but it adds components for what we call the day-night system. So how it works is, if you can imagine, you've got your Mystic Vale setup where you've got your advancements you can buy and your Vales you can buy, right? Okay. And what you do is you actually lay out 2 buy zones. Okay. Right? One is called the night zone and one is called the day zone over here, right? And then we have these tokens, day-night tokens. So there's actually, how it works is there's 2 turns going on at once. There's a night turn and a day turn. Okay. Right? So let's say, and you could even do this variant if you want to 2-player, right? But it makes a 5-6-player game go at a pretty good pace. So let's say you have the night turn, I have the day turn. We would both take turns simultaneously.
Because we have our own dedicated.
Correct. And when I get to the my buy phase, when I buy things, I can only buy from the day zone. You can only buy from the night zone.
So we're not going to overlap, get in each other's way at all.
That's right. And when I'm done my turn, I pass the token to the player on my left. I wait for the next token to come around to me. When it gets to me, I now take my next turn with that. So essentially, a 6-player game plays at about a 3-player pace with this variant in the game. All right, so we've given you 2 new decks and the ability to play it at a not slower pace than before.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. It comes with some other stuff. So it comes with some these are sort of just game aids. So one of the big pieces of feedback we got from Mystic Vale is when you have a huge field and you have a ton of Vale icons, it's kind of hard to track what you have. So these are here to track them. So for example, if you have 2 wilds, you would set that, and 1 sun, you would set that. And then as you say, okay, I want to buy this one, this is going to cost 1 wild, you can take it down, all right, that's what I have left, I'll buy the, and then it's kind of an aid for remembering your turn. So this just helps. And then what we have one sort of gameplay edition. These are called totems. And these sort of break the game a little bit. It's like, do you want to jump into the game and just have an epic ability right off the bat? Everyone starts with a really powerful ability that makes the game a little faster and jumps you straight into it. These are called totems, and you get them, and you're like, wow, that one's broken. Oh wait, this one's also broken. So it's like, if they're all broken, then nothing's broke, right?
Exactly.
And it's, this would not be a tournament suggested game, but if you want that experience of this explosive start to the game, right? And you don't have the initial turns of, okay, I buy a couple level 1s, this one gets you right
boom, right into it.
So that's a gameplay option. And then the other final piece that I think is really cool, what we've done is, well, this is the part that we call the conclave part, right? So first we have dividers for everything, so you can sort your game easily. And we actually have 3 sets of dividers. So this can be a level 1 Vale, level 2 Vale, level 1 advancements, etc. for one set.
Okay.
And if you want, you can make a whole nother set.
Ah.
Right, so you could have varied sets that you curate yourself if you want to. And then we actually make recommended balanced sort of curated sets with what we call the conclaves. So each of these cards gives you a set of Vales and a set of advancements.
Okay.
That,
Can I say another one?
Yeah, sure. You have a set of Vales and a set of advancements. I keep showing this to you, right? Sorry. You have a set of Vales and a set of advancements, and what you do is you can sort your contents of your game by these in the box. And when you play, you can pick 6 of these at random if you want to, right? And they will give you a balanced set of varied things, but not using everything. So you end up with sort of like, with these 6 set of conclaves, I'm going to try to play this strategy, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to having everything mixed in, which personally I enjoy everything mixed in, right? But this gives you like, okay, with this setup, I think I should try to play this type of strategy.
Varied but balanced, varied with this specific strategy too.
Right. So it gives you a few different play modes or setup modes, and then my favorite part, of course, the ability to play up to 6 players, but
yes.
still have a snappy pace to the game.
So with the discs, the day and night cycle, the totems, and everything else, this is more than just a big storage box. There's actually content in here.
There's a bunch of stuff in here. Yeah,
I like it.
Sure.
Very nice. Okay, where is this at in terms of production?
So this is also mid-April.
Okay.
And the MSRP on this one is $49.
Excellent. Very nice. And that's number 2, but that is not all that you brought with you today.
One more, and Kaz is gonna show this one off.
Excellent. All right. So what do we have here?
Here we have Istanbul dice. So if you've ever played Istanbul before, it's about collecting rubies as a merchant in the city of Istanbul. Except this removes the board where you're moving assistants around and introduces dice. So on the dice you have different sides that have the different resources,
okay,
as well as lira and card symbols. So the purpose of the game is still the same. You're still collecting rubies by going to different locations. But that's mostly doing your actions as opposed to actually moving.
Okay.
As a reference card, there are several actions you can take on your turn, which depend on your roll. At the beginning of your turn, you would roll 5 dice.
Okay.
And then that's how you have to base your decision on. And the only way to get rerolls is by gaining these blue gems.
Okay.
And those are rerolls that you can gain as an action for 2 different colored dice.
Okay.
In addition, any light colored dice can also result in gaining the resources that you can bank for a later turn. Or you can redeem the dice as they are for their face color to gain the rubies at different locations. So you'll see a lot of similarities between original Istanbul, the different mosque locations, correct, as well as the gem merchant and the palace.
And they have the increasing cost as the first player got it gets it cheaper, and then they get more expensive as they get claimed.
Correct. So in setup, you fill these up,
okay,
and whatever is revealed, that's the price you have to pay.
Okay.
And it goes around pretty quick. Now this plays quite a bit quicker than normal Istanbul does. In addition, to make setup easier, there's a 4-player side, which is this side, or a 2 and 3-player side.
Nice.
So more gems are out on the 4-player side. Play is a little bit longer, but some of the restrictions are to get rubies are a lot lower. So here you have 4-4, or on the other side it progresses much quicker, 4-5, to make it increasingly more difficult. We still have moss tiles, except now each tile gives you a special ability, unlike in Istanbul. So most of these give you an ability at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of each round.
Okay.
So this tile would give you a card at the beginning of every turn.
Okay.
These cards.
Which are similar to the bonus cards in Istanbul, but tend to be a lot more powerful in this game. They're one-time effects. Also tiles that give you additional free reroll every turn. And the one that we typically fight over is the one that gives you an extra die. So you can gain extra dice to roll on your turn.
So you're not limited to just 5. You can go all the way up to how many?
Correct. So 5 plus 4 is the maximum.
Okay.
And this game is being released in mid-May.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I like how you kind of demonstrated it too, because at first it's like, okay, you got the dice and the track, and then you also have these little tiles that affect these cards. Oh, what else you got back there? I like how it seems to capture that same spirit of Istanbul, but totally different feel to it, totally different vibe to the way it's going to play out, it seems like.
And super fast.
Yeah, it's much quicker.
How fast is super fast, typically?
It plays in half an hour to 45 minutes.
Oh, excellent.
And I also find there's a lot less analysis paralysis in this version. That's
one thing I've noticed in my game group, is that Istanbul, if it hits the table, there's a lot of people going like this at the table for a long time.
Correct.
So that's nice that it can help mitigate that.
Correct.
Cool. And you mentioned May or so. And what's the price point at this going to be?
$29.99.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Wow, that's a lot packed into a dice game at that price point. That's really cool. Nice. I know there's a couple more tiles. Were those just extra tiles, or?
Yeah, you play with the entire stack.
Right.
And then there's my table.
Okay.
And there's still lira in Istanbul dice.
Wow. Okay. Well, unless there's anything else that you're going to surprise me by pulling out of that box.
I'm afraid that is all of it.
Okay. Well, I think that's plenty. Excellent. Right. Well, cool. Thank you so much for showing that.
You're welcome.
Cool. And thank you guys for joining us for another preview episode from the GAMA Trade Show 2018. Be sure to stay tuned for more Dice Tower videos from more companies with more games real soon. Thanks. Bye.